Good morning and welcome back to my channel. Delias Paris here with Indian Hen Farm. So this is our interactive journal that we're working on together. And this page layout is pretty cool. I love it. So this side of the journal, like that. Okay. Let me just show you here. So we've got this little cluster of tags. So this little band flips out. And our paper flips open for writing space. So we've got all this writing space, and then you can flip it this way and write on this side. Fold it up, pop it back in there, put your belt back in. And then I didn't glue it all the way down. So if they want, they can write a little bit here. And then I'll put, this is just a placeholder, but I'll put a tag in here that has some writing space on the back. So that's going to be the first little layout we're going to do together. Pretty simple, but fun. And this is the second one. And I'm trying to remember the gal's name who I saw this on. I will look up her video. I'm having a moment where I'm forgetting her name. But she showed how to do this. And I'll link to her original video in this video. But I thought this was the coolest idea. So it looks like just a little pretty picture, right? But this actually pulls out. And you've got journaling space here, here. Now this one, I have to put some pretty paper on the back because I used my index folders. Pops right in here. And then I didn't glue it all the way down. And that way I have a pocket back here. And this one's a little wide. Here, I'll use this one. There we go. And I just put these little cuts in here to remind me later to fill it out. Because I'll make a bunch of tags and then I'll decide which ones I want to add in here. So this is the layout we're going to do, guys. I think it's awesome. And, well, let's get started. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited. I love this layout. I really do. Okay, so we are working on this journal together. And I've got this page here. So I started doing a video and I had a moment because sometimes I do. So I've got it in here, but I'm going to show you guys on another piece of paper just to be, so I can show you how we do it. Okay, here's this piece here. Let's pull this page out. And I picked, I use a lot of sort of my hand-dyed papers in my journals. This one is marigold dyed with, and it has some iron in it. And that's why it's got that sort of browner, dingier look, which I thought would look good on this dark brown. So the first thing we're going to do is fold our paper in half. This is letter size paper, just standard copy paper. I do use the 32 pound paper, not the 20 pound, because I like it a little better. But obviously everyone's different. So I've got it folded in half. And now I'm just going to fold this part all the way to the seam. All the way to the fold, right? Okay. And I'm going to fold this one in. And I usually just tuck that, yeah, so I can just see. Make sure it's all the way. Yep, there we go. So we've got this thing going on, right? Okay. And then, so I've got like a, can you see? Okay. My internet's acting up a little bit. So we've got like an M, right? And I am going to take one of these pages off, one of these wedges off, because this is a little long. So I know I'm going to take off this first piece. Let me just go ahead and get that off. I didn't want it to fold past the journal because in my mind, you know what? Let's make it easy on ourselves and fold it this way or cut it this way, and that way I can see. Okay. There we go. It's always nice to make it easy on yourself. So now I've got three rectangles. And I'm also going to trim it to fit this page. I want a little room all the way around, and I want some space here for my cluster, right? So that I have room to glue it. So let's give this some, actually my paper trimmer needs a new blade, so I've been getting a little bit of this, whatever, preparation fluff. But I'm holding out as long as possible. Okay, 1, 2, 3, okay. So I'm gonna put this here and just kind of gauge how much I want. You have as little or as much as you want, or none at all. Just gotta cut a little piece off there. Let's take a look. Yeah, I like that. Okay. Oh, hold on. Okay. There we go. Okay. And I'm going to corner punch my corners. I've been doing it as I go just because since I'm working on every page anyway. Why am I doing these separate? Why not do them together? I don't know. Okay. And I'm using my 7 because it works for this page, but y'all do whatever, you know, keep it in proportion, right? Like on that other journal, it's smaller than this one, so I think I did this smaller corner. Oh. Okay, there we go. And I'm going to give this just a little ink. I started Googling video editing. And I'm like, oh Lord. So I may give it a try. I don't know. Maybe you guys will like that better. I'm not, I mean, I know, obviously I know how to use technology, but if you go too deep, my brain fuzzes out a little. My husband is a sort of more techie. He should just do it all for me. Poor guy. Okay, so we got that inked. Let's ink this piece. Okay. And I know I want to have a tuck here. What am I doing here? Okay, you know what? This piece is still a little jagged. Hold on. Okay. Okay, so I want this to fold out like this, right? And I know I want, wait, sorry, like this. Okay. And I know I want a little, I want something to tuck here. So I'm going to glue here, here, and here, right? Okay. Sorry, just having a moment here. Okay. So I'm going to get my glue. Yeah, okay. So I'm gluing here. All the way here. And here. And I'm going to try and get that nice and centered with a little room for my collage. Okay. Looks good to me. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Let's put that in. Okay. So we're like this now, right? And I've got this ledge to put my collage on. And I've also got, uh-oh. Uh-oh. Hold on. That was weird. I don't even know why I did that. Maybe I don't let dry enough before I messed with it. Here. Okay. So now I've got space to put something back there, which I think looks awesome. Okay. And we're going to do a little belt. So I like, you know what? I'm actually going to reinforce this, I think. Hold on, let's see. Is it long enough? Yeah. I'm going to double this up. I'm just going to give it a little glue. And the reason why is because this is going to be a functional piece in the journal where you're going to open and close it. And I want it to have a little bit of extra strength. So let me just glue that. There we go. So it's a little, it's not super thick, but it's just a little, has a little more structure. Okay. I know I'm a little OCD about stuff like that. I watch other people's videos and they don't, you know, and I'm always like, but. Okay, so now I've got it going like this. And I'm going to tuck this strip, or what I call my belt. Get this out of the way so y'all can see. In here. And sometimes your paper folds wonky, so I like to use my ruler and just come in and then fold it across. And that way I get kind of a straight fold. There we go. And that way this line right here is nice and even with the paper, because sometimes it wants to wonk a little. I don't know if that makes any sense. Okay. And now I need a collage over here, right? So let's start with a long one. These are those little Tim Holtz, whatever, labels. I'll link to them in my video. Yeah. The only thing is there's lots of these long ones and lots of squares, but not as many circles and ovals, which I would, hold on. Gosh, Delights, you're having a day here. I'm having a day. It's okay. You know why? Because I know how much I need to get done today. And whenever I start feeling like I have so much to do, that's when I get like, I don't know, whatever you call it. I get the dropsies or the clumsiness or forgetful. So there's my long one. And then just do whatever you want. I've got, let's see. What else I got in here? This one. Maybe we'll do that one. Do I have any other circles in here? Yeah, let's just keep it simple for the demo. We'll just keep it simple. Okay. So I'm going to do, let me ink just a little. So I like to do sort of 3 different shapes because I think it looks good, but obviously this is personal preference again, right? So I'm going to go this. Yeah, hold on. I'm going to do this one. Sorry, guys. I think that one's just too big and it's going to get a little flopsy. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Okay. There's that one, and I wish I had well, it's fine. It's fine. Okay. Like that. Just making sure there we go. Okay. And a little, maybe something. See. A mushroom. You know what? I don't really think this one, I'm going to leave it. I don't think it needs anything. Now on this one, I got 5. But you know how it is. Each one turns out different and each one needs what it needs. So whatever you feel like, when you feel like it's good, then it's time to stop, right? Okay, so now, make sure, yeah, make sure that's nice and glued. Okay, I'm going to give that just a little more glue back there. Okay, just a little more. And I'm only gluing half, right? So that it can open and, yeah, there we go. Okay, so this is going to flip. Oh. Oop. Flip under. And then we've got our belt. And I like to decide, okay, so I know I'm going to probably want it right about there. So I'm going to put a little glue here. Let me ink it real quick. Okay. A little glue here. And pull that up and yeah. Just hold it down for a minute. And I glued this belt not to the back paper, but the inside of this paper, right? So that I still have my tuck. Okay. And then we can decide how far we want to go. Let's maybe cut it right about there. And there we go. There's our belt flip. Now, as this sits in the journal, this will flatten and you'll be in better shape. It wants to pop up a little bit, but you can put it under a book too. And then I've got my tuck for my space, right? Easy peasy. Okay, so that was project 1. So we've got the belt that comes out and the paper that folds out. More writing space back here. Pop it right back in. Put our belt in. And we're good to go, right? Okay. Let's do project 2. This one's pretty fun. Okay. So now we're going to do this one. Oh, I cannot believe I am forgetting her name. It's going to drive me nutty. Don't worry, I'll remember. Okay, let's see. So we're here. And I'm doing it on this side. Okay. So I'm going to pick out some, well, actually, you know what I want is a different color. Okay, so this one's actually going to be the next page. So I was looking, because my journal is green, I wanted to bring some green into these pages. So let me get this in. Sorry, guys. I promise I'm super organized this time. Well, as organized as I can be. Yeah. So I'm trying to decide which, do I want the dark? Or this one's kind of a pine. I think I want the dark. Okay, let's do the dark. So, remember your paper has a grain. If you, and let me cut this barcode off. Where did I, big trimmer. Big trimmer. I'm going to get that big Fisker someday. I'm trying not to spend as much money lately because, well, like everybody else, right? It's a crazy world right now. So, just trying to save more. Use what I have. Also, I probably have enough. Okay, so I'm going to give this a fold lengthwise. Okay. Okay. And it's going in here. So let me get... Let me see where we're at. Let's make sure... You know what? I'm going to pull this one out and just use it as a master. Okay. So I want to go... to there. And to there. Little scrappies. Little scrappies. Okay, here we go. That is a pretty green. I like it. Okay. And we're cutting off a little. And I'm going inside my line. So my line is here. And I'm going to cut right inside, not on the outside. That way I know for sure. Okay. Okay. And let's just double check it. I'm pretty sure we're good, but... Huh. There we go. Not all of them, just the one. Okay. And then we had this page, and I wanted this one to go here. Ah, love it. I think that looks nice with this. Okay, so we're going to work on this page here. I'm going to pull it out of my journal because I can and make my life easier on myself. And I'm going to go ahead and round my corners because I'm rounding them as I go. And I don't think I'm going to bother with distressing this because it's so dark. Just make sure that. See if I can. What is it? The tinfoil trip. Okay, there we go. Perfect. Okay. So, okay, let's go ahead. Okay, so I'm going to get my picture. I'm going to pick out. Now, I'm doing a dark sort of garden, midnight, evening sort of shadows and light. So I've got these and I like them. I think they're, ooh. Okay, maybe that one. That one looks kind of cool too, but I'm looking for a little color. Okay. So either this one. Ooh, that looks kind of cool. Let's see how it looks on the page. Ugh. Do I want that one? Is that too much orange? I think I'm going to go with that one. Okay. Oh, see? No, I'm going to go with this one. Okay, let's just do it. Okay, let me get these out of the way. And I'm going to cut this down. Let's see. Huh? Just whatever pretty piece you want. Like, I did some of these on postcards. Just, I know I want a rectangle. And because, yeah, I'm just trying to make it look sort of, that's why I'm cutting this down, is I want a nice even border. I don't want it to look like, oh, shoot. Okay, the other one it is. The other one it is. Okay. And actually, I'm just going to cut a little off the top. Tobias, what are you doing? There we go. Okay. There we go. And because this is flimsy, pretty paper, I'm going to put mine on some cardstock because it's definitely going to need it. No, I'm not. I don't think... Did I do it on my other ones? I don't think I did. Let me look. No, I didn't. I didn't. So we're not even going to bother with that. Okay. But what we are going to... Okay, so this is the kind of tricky part. So wherever you want your cut... Okay, so you got your piece of paper, right? And I'm going to flip it this way so I can see. Okay. And I'm lining it up with my mat because I know I need that line straight. And I'm going to get my... This is my little metal ruler. And let's see, how much to it? Let's see if we went, so it's a 4 1/4 inches. So let's go, I'm gonna come up 1, actually I'm gonna go a half, half to a half. Yeah, okay. Okay. So there's my line. And that's what I'm going to use my... So now I'm going to use my utility knife. I really hope that... Is this one still... I wonder... You know what? Okay. I'm going to take a blade off and make sure I have a new blade so I don't tear my paper. I can't remember the last time I... Okay. Because I definitely don't... Oh, accidentally took off 2. Darn. Oh, well. Okay. So I hold my ruler here. And I'm going to cut against my ruler on my line. I need a little more. Okay. So now I have this, right? Easy peasy. And now I've been using these manila folders lately. I found a huge stack of these at the Goodwill outlet. I know, big surprise. And I was like, well, this is like great cardstock. So I actually am making tons of tags and tons of pieces. And so I'm going to cut, I always cut off this when I'm using it. Okay, so I'm just going to cut off some of this. You know, these things are such a great deal because they're super cheap, right? And they're good weight. Just tear this off. Okay. And try not to use the piece with the staples where it's on it. I'm just cutting off a chunk to make it easier to work with. I'll use the rest to make probably more tags or more of these. We'll see. Okay. So now what I want is to pick, here, I'm going to show you on this one. I want a square to do a picture. So let's see, what do I have for pictures? I hope I'm not fumbling with too much. I've got some cardstock here. Okay. So, I like that. Let's do that. Okay. So I'm going to fold this in half and just get a feel for how much I need. Okay. So mine measures, let's see if this is going to work. Yeah. So I want a little room, right? Like this one's a little, so I'm going to go a little wider than this. And this measures just over 2.5 inches. So I'm going to go Let's try right there. Let's see. So I'm leaving however long my cut is. Yeah. I'm leaving some room on either side so that I can slide in and out. But the length of this cut is going to dictate the width of this piece. Does that make sense? Okay. So let's cut it down. Make sure it's straight and it looks straight. Okay. And now I know I want this just to go past it a little bit. I'm going to flip it back over because it's easier to see. Right about there. I think this idea is really cool. It's so cool that I've been playing with it for other stuff too. Okay, let's see. Yeah, so see how I've got, like, this is like a little square over, right? You get it. Okay. And this is a little long. So I'm going to cut some of this off too. Actually, you know what? I think I'm going to tear it. Yeah. I'm going to tear it. Let's see. Yeah. And let's tear this side. Okay. And let's just pop this in. Okay. And see where we're at. Yeah, that looks good to me. Okay. So I'm going to glue this piece on first. But I'm going to ink this. You know, some things are funny. It's like easier to do it than it is sometimes to explain it. It's like the Coptic stitch binding. I feel like it's really not hard. But if you watch a video on it, you're like, oh, Lord, that looks like a pain in the butt. And I'm going to glue this side down first. So I'm just going to make sure I have about the same amount of space on either side. Okay. Let's take a look. Oh, scooch it over just a little bit. Yep, that looks good. And there's my piece. Okay. And I like I had fun sort of leaving some fabric that kind of flows under. I thought that looked really good, so I'm going to do that again. Let's see. I'm really digging this burlap, but let's see. What about some of this? I'm going to, yeah. You know what? Let's just do the burlap again. It's easy. Let's just do it. Okay. So, just cut a chunk off. I got a huge roll of that donated to me by the nicest lady. I should check in with her and see how she's doing. And I just like to distress mine a little bit. I think it looks cool. And let's see. Okay. I want this a little diagonally. Okay. Let's do it. Maybe. Okay. Yeah, I know. I'm just being picky now. Okay. Just however you want to decorate that, you know, lip. I think the fabric coming under looks really kind of cool. Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to do it like that. So now I'm going to glue my top on. Let's do it this way. And I'm just going to bring this in. There we go. I should have glued that all the way. I wasn't thinking, so I'm just going to fix that. Oh, you know what? Let's use our Fabri-Tac. I think that'll be better. Let's use our Fabri-Tac. Oh, I gotta get another bottle of this. Okay. There we go. There we go. Okay. Easy peasy. And I think you can mass make these. I'm going to. I think it's one of those projects that's easier if you get everything out to mass make than it is to make one or two. Okay. So now I've got that kind of like distress, which I think looks really cool. And if I put this in, okay. You know what? That's a little long, so I'm going to cut some. But see how that like comes over a little bit? I just think that I like the look of that. I'm going to give it a little bit of a haircut. Okay. And then do some, you know, embellishing, whatever you want, right? Maybe what I have here. Yeek. My hair is in this. That's a little ridiculous. That's very funny. What else I got? I've got this. Ooh. You know, I'm going to give that a little more trim because I want to see a little more of those flowers. Okay. Okay. Let's do... what do I got? What do I got? I'm not going to make y'all wait on me forever. So, we're just going to do it. Okay, I'm going to use that. I'm going to use a tag. Make my life easy. Where are my tags? They're right here. I've got this one and this one. I don't really love that white. What about this? Kind of like that. Okay. Put that and that in there. And, oh, you guys. So I have these tiny die cuts. These little baby Polaroid die cuts. How cute is that? Isn't it adorable? So let's just do one of those because it's easy. I've got, I had my paper right here. What do I do with it? Oh, you know what? It's right here. It's right here. Let me get it. And I was using little pieces of this black and white picture from some of my scraps. So, got a little taggy here. Yeah. Let's glue it down. I think I'm going to go right. There. Cut it out. Oh, not my fabric scissors. My regular scissors. You know, when I was a kid, my mom would, you know, like, she had the sewing scissors. And as a kid, I never understood. Like, she'd be like, it dulls the scissors. And I, you know, how kids are. They're like, yeah, whatever. And now I totally get it. Now I'm like, not the fabric scissors. That's what I call them. Not the sewing scissors, the fabric scissors. And let's pop that on. Yeah. got this. We got this. Just a little something, something. I better close my glue before it dries. Okay. Oh, okay. So I'm going to glue this one on first, the blue flower. Very mysterious. Oh my gosh, you know what's mysterious is I bought this set. These are 49 and Market laser cuts, which when I first bought them, I was like, I don't know. But you know how it is. You buy something and it's in your stash, and then one day you find a really good use for it, and then you fall in love with them and you want more, which is what happened to me. And now I'm like, what did I do with the rest of them? I'm gonna go like that. Can't figure it out. No idea. Sorry, move it up a little bit. Let me. Come on. Okay. I'll be okay. And put my label on. Right there. And my Polaroid here. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. Okay. Uh-oh, can you guys even hear me when I'm mumbling? That's what I'm going to do. Oh, Lord. Okay, here we go. And pop this on. Let's do it down like that. Okay. And I might do a little more to this. I think that's a good start, though. I think that works. This pulls in and out still. Let me cut this down. Oh. Make sure it's, there we go. Maybe right there. Pull it out. This, I love this project. I really do. I can't believe I forgot her name. I promise I will link to her original video. I promise. Okay. And there we go. Okay. So where's our page? Where is it? Here it is. Here's our page. Pop it in there. I like this green against this orange. That's going to be so cool. I love it. Now, I'm not going to round the corners on this. I like it better just straight. But I am going to make this also a pocket. So I'm going to glue just around the 3 sides, right? So I'm coming down and then along the side. Oh, okay. Shoot, you know what? I need to leave that in. Sorry, guys. Leave this in, and that way you can just see. Yeah, okay, we're good. Huh? Great. Oh, my goodness, I'm making a mess. Okay. There we go. Get my... And... Ooh, my tummy's growling. I've got space in here for my tag. And this one pops open for journaling space on the front and the back. I will do the stain on this. You know, one of the things I like about the manila is I don't feel like, hold on, gotta glue that bottom. I don't feel like it needs to be, I mean, like, I feel like it's kind of a nice change because I do a lot of tea-dyed paper. And so by the time I distress the edges, I feel like it looks kind of good as a mix, a lighter option. Okay, there we go. And pop that in there. Does it need to be, I think it needs to be trimmed down just a tiny bit more. Sorry, guys. So, you know, all of this is foolproof, right? Because like you saw, I just popped it in and I'm like, oh, okay, I need a little more off. No problem. No. Make sure that's straight. Okay, there we go. Pop it right back in here. Ah, there we go. I think this needs a little bit more of a haircut too. Okay. There we go. Voila. Doesn't it look awesome? Isn't it a great idea? I love it. Love it, love it. And then I've got stuff back here. So that's today's video. This is a great spread. So we've got 2 interactive pieces. If you like the video, please hit the like, subscribe. Feel free to share it. And have a great day, guys.